It's me, Benny.
Me, B-Rad.
It's me, Big Mo. Amog, what's up?
Yeah, Ivy, what's up?
So today we're going to be talking about the classic method of picking up chicks. Push or pull. When do you push too much where you become an asshole? Or you pull too much and you look like a simp? Okay. There's a distinction, and there's also a fine line. But the real question is, when is each mode appropriate? You know? From my personal experience, right, I'd say that it all kind of depends on the girl. Like, for example, like if you view that girl as like a delicate flower, you're not gonna be wanting to push the shit out of them. You know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna get anywhere. Like, like if their personality is very like soft and sweet, like you gotta fix your approach because you're just gonna come off as an asshole. And sometimes an asshole could be confident or attractive, but in depending on the woman, right? And in this case, the majority of my experience, if they're very, like the shy, quiet types kind of thing, like you're just gonna look bad. So like I think it's all a matter of when to turn on which mode. But with that, I set the stage for you guys. What's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think it does depend on the person and I guess the setting where you're at. If you have, if you have a more sweeter kind of person, you definitely don't want to come off too much like an asshole. But you never know people. Like, again, kind people could like assholes, and asshole type people could like more sweeter kind of people. So it definitely
I'm the
depends.
number one. I mean number two, actually. Sorry.
Exactly, man. So it definitely depends on the setting you're at. If you're at a club, I think you kind of need to be a little more balanced because you don't know like who you're gonna see at the club or the type of minds that people are gonna be in. Like you definitely don't be grabbing girls or grabbing guys on the club dance floor and start grinding on them. Because, like,
See, but I think when we get there, that's not push or pull though.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
me, I guess like the way I define push or pull is like, say you're talking to some chick, right? And there's a perfect opportunity to roast her. Do you roast her to hell, or do you just push a little bit? And like that's the balance that I seek to strike. But like once again, it depends on the woman.
I agree too, but that's the thing, because sometimes with some girls and some dudes out there too, when they put their foot in their mouth, because either you want to be with them or sleep with them, you're not going to correct them.
Yeah, that's true.
But again, like most guys can attest to this. If they're talking to a girl at a bar or a club, and you see this on dating shows, or a girl or a guy says something that's completely left field and dumb, but the person they're talking to just like shakes their head like, yeah, that's really interesting. Yeah, I never thought of it that way. Like you can kind of see, okay, like clearly in the back of their mind, they know, like, what the fuck is this person talking about?
You mean
like,
dating shows like The Bachelor, like Bachelorette?
Well, like dating shows, like you ever seen those dating shows where like, like they interview the person and they ask them, hey, what do you think when this person said this? And like, well, I wanted to say some things, but I was just trying to get in their pants for real, so I just kept my mouth shut. And honestly, like this old saying that goes with this, you can catch a lot more bees with honey than you can with vinegar. and like it makes sense, like like you would think, yeah, it's better to be sweet and nice people, but sometimes people look at that as a taker's kindness and sweetness
as a sign of weakness.
And you just want to be friends,
Yeah,
First, coming off a little more abrasive, coming off a little more forward and direct with what you want to say,
Yeah,
But
I think. So I do agree with both of you guys. I feel like the best approach. It does depend on like the girl you're talking to. But personally, what I like to do, I like to kind of like be, lack of a better term, like a mime. I like to trade punches. So they're taking punches at me, I'll roast them back. But you never want to like do too much of anything. Like if it's like somebody's really nice to them, you're not gonna like get on one knee and like kiss their feet and like kiss their hand. Like you can be a little bit different. You can, mess with them a little bit and maybe say something that'll catch them off guard. But obviously you got to be able to control yourself, So
Yeah.
it depends who you're talking to.
Yeah, I mean, I've always said, like, when you're following this or you're trying to do something like this, you have to be careful for the shit test. What the shit test is basically, like, the girl, like, equally going as hard back to you.
Yep.
And then it's really up to your response. That's when the pressure's on you. And you can't, like, show that it got to you, but you also just can't not say anything either.
Yeah.
And so, like, once again, it's not going to be a one-sided interaction. Like, if you're trying to do this thing right, like, if you're spitting shit, prepare to get it spit back at you. Just.
I think I agree with you guys. I agree mainly with what Ivy said, because that's something which I do a lot. That's kind of my trademark style of sometimes I go a little too hard. Like, call back to the first episode when I literally asked the girl who did shots, was like, yeah, what did that bout do though? So that's a bit excessive. Don't do that, guys.
That's the part.
Call back to our first episode. Yeah, but no, I obviously don't do that. But yeah, ordinarily I don't do that. But what I'm trying to say is, like I said, depends on the person, depends on the setting. Like this has been mentioned earlier as well. Depends on the person, depends on the setting. I would suggest one thing that try to one thing you can do is like try to be like on your toes and see how how the back and forth occurs. And if there is a sort of back and forth where this person's like she's like trading jabs with you, then maybe it's time to like switch it up and like go a little harder and like see where like try to get under her skin, see what push buttons, see where she see what triggers her and stuff. And of course when she gets triggered, obviously like back off and be like, oh I'm sorry, I didn't mean to like trigger you and shit.
Don't call her a thirst trap, call back.
Yeah, basically don't call her a thirst trap. Because that's because that's exactly what I did also. And no, basically don't tell her.
We need a shirt named Callback. We need a black and white shirt. It's called Callback, honestly, for our merch store.
Yeah, actually.
Basically, don't say that she does things for validation, because apparently she does or doesn't. That's her problem, not yours. It's none of your concern. But yeah, so what I'm trying to say is basically to capsulate what I was just saying is if she's into like verbal back and forth and like and it's like it's like going off, maybe switch it up and yeah, like just see where that goes. But don't unleash your asshole like don't unleash your inner Steven Seagal just like off the bat. Don't do it. Please don't do it. You just come across as an asshole.
Be a little more specific with Steven Seagal. We're talking about like today Steven Seagal or earlier Steven Seagal?
Overall Steven Seagal. Overall Steven Seagal, dude. Okay. Steven Seagal, because he's been an asshole all throughout.
And to kind of go back on that thing with the 80s, I mean, it's kind of like the Cold War. You don't want to start World War III. You want to put your bombs in Turkey, and she's going to put her bombs in Cuba. And you just got to play it cool from there, It's the Cold War, in a way. Like you guys are going to have...
I see the analogy, but you completely lost him.
Yeah, exactly. Like I was like, technically, Russia did not get a chance because there was a blockade. So is that basically y'all getting like that's like when you try to throw a punch and she just completely dodges it and then just like no. Exactly. So that I mean,
but I'm just saying it's the Cold War in a way that.
SPR.
No. I mean, I agree with the Cold War analogy, but just the Cuban Missile Crisis is not a perfect analogy for this. Like Cuban Missile Crisis.
To be fair, didn't you want to get your missile into Cuba? Just saying.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, all I gotta say is, I remember
fair.
Moog actually told me this. When it comes to this stuff, when you swing at the king, you better make sure the punch lands. You better make sure the punch lands.
And then you don't want to have the talk with your homie about, were you trying to shoot her?
Oh, were you trying to
murder
shoot your shot?
Again,
were you basically trying to shoot or shoot your shot or just try to shoot her? Which I don't know at this point. I'm like, I really don't know what I was trying to do.
Have you ever shot someone? I mean,
what?
Have you ever like?
Do you ever pepper somebody?
What was like a bad, like first? Whether it's a story with you or like with somebody else. What was like a bad like first?
I have to think about it. I've done many.
Actually, I off the bat I do have like one.
Failed.
Like I have one. It was a friend of mine. Not named me. Genuine like friend of mine, and he introduced he was okay. So he introduced actually. Okay, so I'll give you like a proper setting. Like I'm all over the place. So it was New Year's Eve. This is 2016, 15. I don't know. One of the 2000s. One of the 2015-ish, I think. So I think it was 2006. And he introduced. I had just gotten over my ex, and he was like, yeah, definitely come for New Year's Eve, and I'll introduce you to like hot chicks. And I'm like, okay, like if you like, it's like somebody's dangling a carrot in front of you. You're like, okay, cool, let's do this. And he's like, he's like, oh, meet so and so, and I'm like, we're talking to each other, and we're talking, and like after a while, I just got bored of the girl, because she kind of gave a vibe that she wasn't interested. So I was like, okay, fuck this dude, and I started talking to everyone else, like kind of what I do now also. And this guy comes up to me and he's like, bro, she's kind of vibing, she's kind of giving you like the eyes, like why don't you go and talk to her? I'm like, I'm bored, dude, like I don't want. I'm like, plus there's like, and there was good weed also, so I'm like, bro, I want to smoke some good weed, dude. Like I'm like priorities, dude. And I really wanted to like desensitize, because at New Year's I'm just like, bro, I don't give a fuck, man, I just want to chill. And he's like, okay, so do you mind if I take a shot? I'm like, be my guest, bro. And he goes up to her, and I swear to God, this is what he says. He's like, I cannot make this up. He's like, is that your phone in your back pocket? Because I feel that ass is calling me.
And what did she do?
She said,
bro, the girl looked at her for a minute. She looked at her friend. They both took off their high heels and beat the shit out of my dude. My dude got the 2-for-1. My dude got the 2-for-1. My dude got the 2-for-1 bonus offer, man. Like buy one get one free.
If he truly wanted to capitalize, he could have been, damn, I like it when she beats me. Like he could have just sat and settled. Like it would have been a win for him.
I still can't believe it. Like he said it with a fucking deadpan expression, bro. He just goes, "Is that your phone?" And she wasn't even wearing jeans. Like I can understand if she's wearing jeans. Like he's like looking at that, like, and he literally just goes, "Is that your phone in your back pocket? Because that ass is calling me." And like he's like, "That ass is calling me." And I was like, "Fuck, this guy is done. Like he's done. Like that's it, done. Like you go."
There are moments when you see your friend talk to a girl or talk to somebody, and they say something, and it's like, "Fuck, man, you shouldn't have said that."
You're done.
Yeah, like I'm gonna take my leave of absence before I'm associated with you.
What was that skit Dave Chappelle said when keeping it real goes wrong?
Oh yeah,
when keeping it real goes wrong. That was your friend right there. That is
the bit like, and it's and he, I don't know what went through his head when he said it, and he before he went in for the attack, he literally goes, Watch me. And I'm like, this guy's fun. I'm like, this is it. Yeah,
get this, baby.
exactly. He's like, watch how the pros do it. I was like,
This is gonna be bad.
not this way. I'm like, this is going to be good.
Listen, man.
Oh my god.
And
Here.
his friends from friend. So this guy went to like one of the top like film schools in India.
Yeah.
Top film schools, and I was like, bro, there were like models and shit, like models, directors, like future directors of like Bollywood and like other like film industries, and I was like, and he said it, and he did this in front of all of them, and I looked at his friends, and all of his friends were like. Like it literally was like it was literally that beginning scene of San Andreas when it's like, ah shit, here we go again.
But I'm not gonna lie to you. Whenever a guy or a girl does that, you might as well be putting gasoline fire on your fucking head right there, honestly. Because it's just like this ain't gonna go down like in the movies, fam. This gonna go down a blaze of glory.
It was amazing. I was just like it was literally watching like basically it was watching you know, I don't know, I don't want to get political, but it was like watching a certain leader talk about bleach and sunlight, and then looking at the surgeon general, and he said, yeah, we should definitely do some research about it. And then the surgeon general looked at this so-called leader and goes, you good, bro? So basically that was surgeon general. Certain specific leader was my friend.
Hey, you know what? You know, your friend probably said, "Man, I almost had them without one line." You know, almost got them without one line.
It did. No. And then he came back, and I was like, all good. And he goes, "I almost had them, bro." I was like, from what angle did you almost have them? You did not have them like anywhere.
In what world?
I was like, they couldn't keep their hands off me, man. What are you talking about? I had to fight my way out of that shit.
Exactly. And Bradley, you literally hit the nail on the coffin. Like he said that, and I was like, man, you and I have very different definitions of keeping their hands off you, dude. They literally couldn't keep their hands off you because of the shit you just spoke. And then I was like, dude, first of all, never start a conversation with doing this. Please, guys.
Actually did that?
He didn't. Yeah, like I never knew people who actually did that shit. Like,
he did that. He was like, and it didn't end there. He's like he imitated like a sizzle. I was like, which movie are you watching? Who are you imitating? Who's your idol? Like,
you need to know.
He said, "Shit, player." He said, "Shit, player. Don't hate the game. Hate the player, man. I don't know what you talking about, fam. I got what I wanted. Them bitches couldn't keep their hands off me."
Like which crackhead from the hood are you like imitating? Like this is not good. This nowhere is. And guys, I really could not make this up. Like everybody was just like, what the fuck just happened? And then he's like, yeah, give me that joint, dude. I need some like I need to like desensitize. I'm like, dude, you need to pack up and go home. You need to pack up and go home. You don't need anything.
Honestly, I respect your friend so much, Mo, because like he didn't hang his head low. He didn't say, "Woe is me."
Yeah, because it was his party. Because it was his party. Obviously, he can't hang his head low after he's been insulted in front of everyone.
It was his party.
He was the host. He was the host.
That's worse.
But still, he could have said, "Everybody fucking leave, bitches leave," but he didn't. He said, "You know what, Mo? I'm gonna have a good time. Pass me the joint. Give me a beer. Shit, I had a good time, my man. I nutted when they beat my ass. What are you talking about?"
It didn't end there. It doesn't end there. So his girlfriend texts me. His girlfriend, so at that time, his girlfriend or his now current ex-girlfriend.
Hold up. So he had a girlfriend.
Yep.
Right,
So at this point, so his ex-girlfriend or now ex-girlfriend, then girlfriend texts me. She's like, oh, no. She texts me. She had her parents were like super strict and stuff. They were like, no going out after like 12 a.m. and shit, like some bullshit like that. So she was like, oh, how is XYZ? I said, yeah, he's good. I mean, after this, the UFC beatdown had just happened. So I was like, yeah, he's good. He's fine. He's like, he's drinking. He's high. It's all good. And obviously those girls had left by then. So she's like, yeah, I intend to sneak out of the house. So just tell me when. Like, I'll just let you know when my parents are like out, and this thing. So I was like, yeah, cool. No issues. No worries. All good. So all that happens, like cut to like a couple of hours. This is like, I think 2017 had rolled in. This is like Jan 1st, 2007, early hours of 2017. And she's like, yeah, I'm downstairs, like this thing. So I was like, yeah, okay. Because I knew what was going to happen. These guys were going to do something, God knows what. So, but before I left, I had to play the devil's advocate. So I was like, yeah, XYZ, why didn't you tell her about the time you just got beat? You just, like, a couple of hours earlier, you got beaten up by 2 chicks in their high heels. And I just left. Just left.
Oh,
I was just like, peace.
Hey, but here's the thing, though. I mean, yeah, there are a lot of guys who would say dumb things like that, but there's a lot of girls that say dumb things too. I remember one time, I don't know if I've said it on a previous episode, but I was in Vegas with my brother, and we were just out one night. We went to one of the clubs, and some girl, like, you know, she was a little bit not my type. Okay, like a little bit, you know. So anyway,
not your type. It's not your type.
Just, I'm not gonna go in depth. Yeah. So anyways, she grabbed me by the arm, like grip, like iron grip, like, and she's like, "Are you married? Do you have a girlfriend?" I'm like, yeah, I do." And she just like, "Oh." So I was just like, obviously I wasn't, but
Honestly, she's about to pimp you out, man.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. But
She's
there's some
back of her van, bro.
She said, "Hey man, I got some candy for you."
Hey, we might need to touch on that. So
I got some fried chicken for you.
PS5.
She looked at Ivy and she's like, I have some Popeye's fried chicken for you.
She probably ate it already. Well, with the PS5,
was she on the plus side? Ivy, don't lie. Was she on the plus side?
Like I said, she's not my type. All right, I'm not going into depth about that.
Yeah, because I think the last time I checked, you also walked out. You also walked out on that chick in Pasadena because she also happened to be white, and she also happened to be white, and she said, my ex-husband is black."
Oh,
so
God.
I don't.
But she's like 50. Okay, so she's a sugar mama. All right, I'm trying to get a PS5.
Yeah, she's gonna pay PS5, man.
Yeah. You gotta risk it to get the Wi-Fi router, okay? That's okay.
All right.
But for my story, this came like one time I was out clubbing and I overheard this girl yell, like, "All men are trash," and like she's like almost on the verge of tears, and like I just yelled back, "Then why are you looking in the dumpster?" And then and she gave me this like death glare, and I was like, "What, honey? I'm gold." Like, and then like she just walked away pissed off.
Did you put another check on suicide watch, Benny?
I probably did, yeah.
Oh man. Okay, my story is pretty quick, honestly. My story just involves. It was back my sophomore year, back in college, and I think either my RA or my roommate invited a couple girls. And one of the girls, she was just complaining about something. And I don't know what the hell she was just complaining about. And I was just getting sick and tired of hearing her complain. And once she got done complaining about all the bullshit she was going through the whole entire day, I was like, well, boo fuckity who fucking cares?
Actually, that reminds me of another story.
No, wait. It's not.
Oh, it's not over? Okay. Yeah.
And she said, "Wow, man! Like I was like, if you would just paid attention and just gave me a sob, if you would just like placated me, you could have had this. I was like, fuck. I don't know, man. I was just like, shit. I really just, I don't know. Maybe I just had a bad day that day, and I just don't give a fuck anymore. I really don't. But I was like, fuck. I could have had some that night.
That reminds me of this classmate of mine. She and I graduated together. She was in structural engineering, masters, also in masters, the master's program, but in the structural department. And she's like, just like in general, like she's a friend of mine. But there's always that scene where will they, won't they kind of thing. And she was kind of seeing this really douchey guy, and like she would come and like just tell me about him, and I'd be like, yeah, I don't want to hear about this because I don't care, because I'm trying to get into your pants. I don't need this shit. So
you're just gonna give her the opposite advice.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be like, yeah, fuck him. I'm not interested in here. And no, I literally did once tell her this, like, listen, I when I come here to drink, I come here to drink with you and vibe with you. I don't want to hear about your fucking boyfriend and like how he behaved like a douchebag today. I don't give a shit. He's a douchebag. He's just going to behave like a douchebag. It's not going to change. And but anyways, so this was during my birthday, and she was like, can I call my boyfriend? And I was just like, whatever, fuck it, call your boyfriend. I don't give a shit. I'm gonna take his case as well. So it's like, this was, I think, my 24th birthday. It's just October 2017, and she just like kept deriding the construction engineering department like constantly. She just like, design structural engineers, we do the shit, we design everything. Construction engineers, you all just like execute the project. And I look at her and I look at her like dead in the eyes, and I was like a couple of drinks down, more like 20. And I look at her.
A couple of 20.
I was a couple of drinks down. I mean, I had drank about 3 bottles of pure alcohol.
I had some moonshine.
Whatever the case may be.
It's just had just like consumed some moonshine, like no biggie.
I drank some Listerine just to make sure I was able to speak to her with a nice clean breath.
and luckily, like at that point, her boyfriend wasn't there because he'd gone to get drinks for her, and like she just like everybody like, and she was surrounded by like construction engineers. So it was like that porn scene where like just like one white chick is surrounded by black guys. It was exactly that.
Right.
So, and these guys were all waiting to like go in for the kill, but they were waiting for me to make because by then everybody had come to know, like, I'm like, I can just literally rip people to shreds. So they were just like waiting for me to just like cut her open. And I just look at her, and I look at her up and down, and I was like, XYZ, you look really pretty with your mouth closed. And and I was like, no, actually, wait, no, correction. The way I said it was, I don't think your boyfriend tells you this often, but he should. You look really pretty with your mouth closed. And at that moment, her boyfriend walked in, and he was like, what's going on?
I'm sorry, but I'm just imagining 5 black guys around. That's still my...
For the viewers at home, imagine 5 Xboxes over the new PS4. Just visualize that content right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, man. But,
so these are like 2 instances in my life where one, like I've been like relatively decent, and I've watched one of my really close friends make a mistake, and the second time I've just been a straight asshole to this chick. I'm like, no amount of pussy is worth getting into trouble for that. Like, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, you talk shit, get smacked.
Yeah. But with that, I guess we'll give a quick summary of basically what to do and what not to do. Once again, very situational. Do you have a kind, sweet girl? Or do you have more of a girl who likes to push back? You can tell within the first couple minutes.
Yeah.
If it's option 1, take it light, do, just over the table kind of jokes. Don't go for her life, just treat her like you would a family friend, but push it a little bit harder. You know what I mean? That's the level where you need to be at,
Yeah.
If it's the other case, go out swinging, but not too hard at the beginning,
Yeah.
And so with that, it's just a balance. And then on the opposite side, don't forget they can strike back. So be prepared to be witty.
Yeah.
But that's what I got to say about that.
Great.
Yeah, no, just to double down on that, if they do strike back, again, don't be quick to be so unless you said something completely out of bounds that just it wasn't meant to be witty or funny or topical, then yeah, apologize. But if it is in context to the conversation you guys were having and everything was going well, then try your best to be witty.
Yeah, you remind me of a quick story. It's very quick, but basically, I have a friend, and yeah, basically, she was like, yeah, me and your friend, we went to this midget wrestling show or something like that. Yeah, it's exactly what it sounds. Gainesville was weird after a while, in sophomore year.
Gainesville weird.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, so that's why you're here. And I didn't even mean for it to come out that way, but it just so
damn. Tell me how you really think.
And then she just gave me a look like, fuck you.
Obviously.
Yeah.
It's
But if she was able to take it, then that's cool.
I mean, you could tell that one went out swinging, but it was passable because it's he doesn't do this often, and that's the strategies, find the fine line.
Wonder Woman and Catwoman, or just Wonder Woman?
Just Wonder Woman.
Okay. Because Catwoman.
Yeah, you're never getting that one back.
Yeah. Never.
Let's kind of stop things right here because I don't know where this is going to go down. But
probably a very dark road.
Wait, Hathaway Catwoman?
Probably very.
Yeah. So again, guys, find a fair balance. Be prepared to adjust your game depending on the person you're talking to and location. If you're at a club, you may be doing more pushing than you will pulling. If you're at more of a general area, you're bumping somebody, at a Starbucks or wherever, prepare to do more pulling, But yeah, again, I just want to say thank you guys for the support again. Next week we'll be doing a review of Tales from the Hood, which is a very good movie. I highly suggest you guys all watch. We'll be doing more reviews like this again, and plus having interviews and other people join on the podcast. So thank you guys again. And please, I believe we'll be having maybe a poll, not for this episode, but for the next episode, depending on what you guys choose between us for review, being Velocipastor or Dracula 3000. So please let us know. I just want to say thank you again. And if you want to ask us any questions, please follow us or email us at thoughtgang65@gmail.com. That is THOTGANG65@gmail.com. Again, that's thoughtgang65@gmail.com. Amog, what is our Instagram?
Our Instagram handle is thoughts_podcast. That is THOUGHTS_PODCAST. That's once again thoughts_podcast. Ivy, what's our Twitter handle?
Twitter handle is Thought Podcast 2. THOUGHT Podcast 2. No spaces. Had some trouble spelling.
But yeah, I guess that'll be it from all of us. This is all of us signing out and telling you guys have a good day and a good night or a good morning whenever you listen to this. Bye-bye.
Peace.
Bye.